Hey everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing, yet eerie, topics of our time: the monsters from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. You know, the infamous disaster that shook the world back on April 26, 1986? But we're not just talking about the technical side. We're venturing into the wild and mysterious world of creatures, both real and mythological, that emerged from the shadows of this catastrophic event. Let's get started. The Chernobyl disaster, a brief history. So, let's set the stage. Picture this: April 26, 1986, a regular day in Pripyat, Ukraine, until suddenly a reactor explosion changes everything. Thousands of people were evacuated, and what once was a bustling town turned into a ghost city. The disastrous meltdown led to radiation leaking into the environment, creating what we now know as the Chernobyl exclusion zone, a huge area abandoned and off limits. While nature has been reclaiming this land, many tales of creatures and monsters have also emerged from the fallout. The environment of the exclusion zone. Now, you might wonder, what's life like in this eerie exclusion zone? Surprisingly, it's kind of thriving. Many think of a desolate wasteland, but nature has fought back in impressive ways. Animals have returned, living freely in an area once covered in concrete and civilization. But here's the twist: the radiation has affected how these animals grow and behave. Some studies show that, despite radiation, wildlife populations have surged. It's a bit of an ecological riddle, right? How does life persist in such a hazardous place? The monsters of Chernobyl. All right, let's get into the real fun: the monsters. First off, some actual creatures documented in the zone are pretty fascinating. You've heard about three-eyed fish, right? Well, while those might be more urban legend, there are definitely reports of strange mutations in wildlife, like larger animals and those showing signs of radiation sickness. Imagine stumbling across a deer with an unusually large antler growth. Then there's the folklore. Stories have sprouted like weeds, with locals and explorers recounting wild tales of beasts wandering the barren landscapes, or even ghostly apparitions lurking around the old power plant. And let's not forget about pop culture. This disaster has inspired tons of games, movies, and books. Think Stalker and even Chernobyl Diaries. These creators took the idea of monsters from Chernobyl and ran with it, painting a chilling picture of a world gone haywire. It's fascinating how fear and fiction intertwine with reality. Scientific studies and findings. Now, what does science say about all this? Researchers have been studying Chernobyl for years, looking into how the ecosystem functions in this oddly radioactive environment. Surprisingly, lots of wildlife, like wolves, wild boars, and even rare birds, continue to thrive. Studies show that adaptations to radiation have occurred, and in some cases, species are actually becoming more resilient. While mutation rates have increased, scientists are finding that biodiversity is important for restoring balance in such a chaotic setting. Who would have thought that a nuclear disaster would actually foster a bustling ecosystem? It's a fascinating area of research that flips the script on how we view radiation and its effects on wildlife. Psychological and social effects. But it isn't just the plants and animals affected. The psychological impact on humans is huge too. Many folks have built up a monstrous image of both the so-called mutants and the very concept of radiation. Fear and myth have merged, creating a landscape of urban legends shaped by the unknown. The stories and fears surrounding Chernobyl often reflect deeper anxieties we have about nature and technology. So there you have it. Chernobyl, a site of disaster, has given rise to a unique mix of wildlife and mythology. It's a powerful reminder of nature's resilience and the stories we create to make sense of our world. What do you think about the monsters from Chernobyl? Let's chat.